Good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares. So, last week I promised you a healthy recipe. So, this is going to be kind of a healthy add on or a healthy side dish. But I made this the other day for the boys for the first time. Everyone loved it. So, I thought it is so easy. I would love to show you and how you can make your meals just a little bit fancier with just a few simple ingredients and a few minutes. So today I'm going to show you how to blister tomatoes. Super easy, but wow, they taste absolutely delicious. So one thing I am going to tell you, just because you are going to put your olive oil in the pan, if you don't have one of these little splatter guards, please make sure you do. These are really important. I realized that the other day when I was making them and I had like splatters of olive oil all over. So make sure you have some sort of splatter guard before you start doing this. And since I said that, I think I'm going to put on my apron so that way I don't splatter myself completely and show you how to do this. So we love Italian food, right? I told you guys all about our trip to Italy and how much fun we had and how the boys just loved everything. So what I really want to do is be able to make some Italian food at home that is tasty and not full of all the nonsense, right? So by doing that, we have to find things that are fresh, and the less ingredients in our things, the better. And when I mean ingredients, I mean actually preservatives. I don't really mean the real ingredients that you're adding to things, because you want to add all the good stuff for all the taste and flavor, but you don't want all the nonsense of all the preservatives that we have in here. So when you are searching for things, remember, less is better. And you can watch some of my old videos to see what we should be having and what we should be leaving out. So first off, we are going to start over here. I'm going to show you my tomatoes that I use. I'm actually going to start growing these on the tower garden, so soon I will have my own, but for now, I had to go to the store and get these, which they're good. They're on the vine cherry tomatoes. So in a pinch, get these. If not, get them on the tower garden, like I said, which mine have now started. So we'll have those soon. So if you're going to do them for your family, obviously you're going to do more than this. This is just a handful for me to have as a little side snack today. The next thing you are going to need is fresh garlic. We're going to need about 2 cloves of garlic. If you want more, if you're a real garlic person, awesome. Feel free to go ahead and do that. That is not a problem. You can sure do that. So I'm going to grab 2 cloves out of here. And then we're going to need some olive oil. You can use whatever kind of olive oil you like. I particularly like this one. So this is from a place in Springfield, Illinois, which they have the best seafood ever. And they also make their fresh seafood. Fresh seafood you go get there. Best shrimp cocktail. They also make their own olive oil and their own balsamic vinegar. So I highly recommend getting one that is flavorful. This one is a rosemary. You can do a plain one. Just watch what you are getting again. So with these, if you pound them a little bit with the clove of garlic, the outside comes off a little bit easier. My husband's way better at this, as he uses cloves of garlic all the time to make the Indian food. So, and then I'm going to use, this is great, you guys. This is from Pampered Chef. If you need that, talk to my friend Katie Rupert. She can hook you up. So this is a little chopper, but you are going to do it manually. So you're going to get a little exercise. So there's 1 clove of garlic going in there. Like I said, I'm just going to do 2 so I don't smell totally crazy. Since I've got something at school tonight, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, are you trying to keep Dracula away? Okay, so you're going to put those in there. This goes on just like that. And then, can you see what I'm doing? This is it, guys. So just a manual way to chop it. And look at that. Now I will usually, I'll take that out so I don't cut my hand, and I'll grab the little bottoms of the garlic that have like the little stem part on there and take those out. Okay, so now back over to the stove. We are going to put a little bit of olive oil. Do this, I mean, I know you guys always talk about I measure. I don't on this one. So we're just going to put a little bit in. Not a ton. Maybe a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. We are going to turn it to medium high to get it going. We're going to let that set for just a second. Okay, so it doesn't splatter. Then I'll grab my spatula, which I wasn't prepared for, to get the garlic out. Now, the next thing you're going to put in, you're not going to put the garlic in yet. Once this is warm, you are going to take the tomatoes, you're going to put those in there. You are going to put those in there for 2 minutes. You're going to leave them set. You really don't want to agitate them too much. If you leave them for about 2 minutes, they're going to start to kind of get a little brown, blackish on one side and start to blister a little bit. I'm going to grab my timer, since I'm using my phone for part of this, so we need a timer on the phone. Just set that for 2 minutes. I can feel the heat coming off here already. So we are going to put the tomatoes in. You can hear it sizzling a little bit. Put that back on so you don't get it all over yourself, and set that timer for 2 minutes. Okay, well, that's going for 2 minutes. So the age-old question, is tomato a fruit or a vegetable, right? So it is really a vegetable. If you look it up, by definition is a vegetable. But I found something fascinating when I was searching for this earlier today. In 1893, the Supreme Court actually got involved, and they said it was a vegetable. But the reason they did it was for tariffs. So I found that a little interesting. It had nothing to do with actually what it is, but it was just for purposes of taxing and all that. So that was interesting. That was 1893. So it truly is a fruit, but a lot of us refer to it as a vegetable. Let's turn that down just a little bit to medium that it's going, because we use it in savory dishes. So you don't usually use a lot of fruits in savory dishes. So that's why it gets referred to as a vegetable. So these are looking good. Now, while you're doing this, make sure that you're going to grab, you want a little bit of pepper. Again, I'm not going to measure, just a little bit to taste, and a tiny bit of salt. So when I put my salt in, I do not like a lot of salt. I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand, and we're going to go with it like that. I'm going to grab one more thing real quick while this is going. I'll be right back. I just think I'm going to change that up. Instead of using the regular salt, speaking of Pampered Chef and my friend Katie, I've got a seasoning salt. I'm going to use that instead. So that way it's not going to be as overwhelming with the amount of salt, but I'm still going to add a little pepper. Okay, we are ready to check these. It does want you to agitate them just a little bit before you put everything else in. So let's see how they're doing. Sound good, right? Perfect. Starting to get a little bit of brown. Okay, so we've got everything else ready to go. This is just a super simple recipe, and that's what I mean. You can really make your stuff fancy. Our timer's going off. You can make your stuff very fancy, your meals, just by doing this, and you really can get the kids to eat this. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of pepper. Again, just your own taste. And a tiny bit of the seasoning salt. But with this, it's got some other things in it, some garlic and stuff as well. I'm already putting real garlic in there, so that works. And then we're going to get our chopped up garlic clove that we put. Add that. When I did this the other day, Alex came in the kitchen. He goes, "Oh my gosh, Mom, what are you doing? The house smells so good." And this was it. Fresh garlic really smells so good. Okay, we're going to let that cook again. Now, with this, you don't want to stir it too many times because you want the tomatoes to blister and not get like all mushy and start falling apart. So we're going to set this for 3 minutes and start that. Now, we do want to agitate it just a little bit. And then we're going to let this cook. When I did this a couple days ago, the kids were saying, "Mom, I want some pasta." I'm like, okay, but I thought, let's do something a little bit different. So I actually went searching for a pasta that was imported from Italy. You can, if you look, you can find these at small little grocery stores. You can, if you're in St. Louis, go down to the hill. There are grocery stores there that really have the pasta from Italy. So I highly recommend that because, again, it's not going to have all those preservatives. And oddly, if you're lucky enough, sometimes you can find one at Trader Joe's. Same thing with the pasta sauce. I still need to make my own. I'm still waiting. I've been kind of playing around some of the recipes you guys are sending me. So send me some more and maybe we'll do that next time or in the next couple weeks. I will do my own. This one is not. It is another import from Italy. Very just simple ingredients, guys. Not a lot of preservatives. So these things are going to have a short shelf life, which is exactly what you want. And again, if you notice in this dish, when I did it, very little sauce. Why? Because in Italy, they don't do a lot of sauce on their pasta. Some fresh basil on top. And then if you wonder what that is, if you think, is that a hard-boiled egg on the side? It is not. It is burrata cheese. This was one of my favorite dishes when I was in Italy that I got. I got a spaghetti with fresh basil. It had the blistered tomatoes and this burrata cheese. So I thought, I'm going to try to do it again. The family absolutely loved it. So, and again, super easy. Didn't take long to do. These tomatoes are almost done. I'm going to check them one more time. And it's a pretty fancy little dish, right? But by doing this to the tomatoes, you're going to give them a kind of a sweet, savory, plus the garlic. Oh my gosh. And then when you are adding those to your pasta or whatever you're going to put them on the side, put a little bit of garlic. It's nice in there. It's kind of browned up. It just brings it all together. I've been doing a lot of cooking this week. Yesterday or last night, I decided to do another Italian recipe, caprese chicken. So I will tell you guys all about that. We almost could do it on here if you want to hear me for about 25 minutes. It doesn't take long to cook either, but you might get tired of listening for 25 minutes. But we can do a short version of that, and I can show you how to do that. Make some fancy balsamic glaze, and everybody loved it. Again, they were like halfway through the meal, and they said, Mom, can you make this again? So that's always a good sign when they're ready for that again. And we are ready to ding off. So I'm going to shut this off. I know the sizzling does sound good. That's like I love that. Okay, remove it from the heat so it doesn't sizzle as much. And I'm going to show you guys. These are, oh, they're so good. So you can put these as a side dish. You can add them to your pasta. You could, even if you were having, let's say, a steak, you could put them on a little side salad that you stick there. Oh, so good. And look at this, guys. Done. And yes, this cleans up very easily, even though it doesn't look like it in the dishwasher. Super, super simple. So everybody in the family will love it. If they're not normally a tomato person, my kids don't like raw tomatoes. You do them like this, they love them. I can't even make enough when I have dishes like this because they just eat them up. So if you want a good way for the kids to eat, I'll say your veggies, even though it is a fruit. This is a perfect way to spice it up. How long did this take me? Maybe 4 or 5 minutes actually of the cooking, maybe 6 or 7 total of doing all that. Then take your fresh basil, whatever your dish is, even if you're going to have them, even if you're just going to eat them yourself, just throw a few pieces of fresh basil on there. It looks super fancy. They're going to think you've been in the kitchen for hours, and everyone will love it. And what a healthy meal and a healthy add-on that we are adding. So I'm going to be doing lots more of these. I know you guys enjoy the cooking. Super easy. If you guys missed all this, there's only a few ingredients. So rewatch it or message me, and message me with your other little fancy things that you guys like to do just to spice things up when people come over, or that you like to just do for your family that are healthy things, but simple, because that's what we're looking for. Simple and healthy. We don't want to overcomplicate this because nobody has time to be in the kitchen all day. But at the same time, our bodies can't take us going through the drive-thru. So we need to find these simple things that we can do at home that everybody loves, healthy and cost effective. So I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll get some more stuff off the Tower Garden, and I'll show you the progress on my personal tomatoes as they are coming along, because that's actually where the basil came from, was from the Tower Garden. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Reach out to me. Let's talk more about the recipes and how to make a healthier you and a healthier life for you and your family. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist.